On this interesting weather morning, it is time for our Allied Cooperative program. I have Mike Kampstra. He is the Certified Energy Relationship Manager out of Marshfield. Let's talk gas prices. What are they looking like?
I wanted to kind of touch on what's happening here as we're looking for a little bit of relief at the pump with gas prices. You know, the national average price for gasoline has decreased. It's down to $3.08 per gallon, down 1 cent from last week, and about 38 cents lower than last time, this year last time. So diesel fuel prices have also declined. The national average for on-road is $3.59 a gallon. We're down 4 cents from last week. And, you know, year over year, we're down a little bit as well on that, 15, 20 cents. So we're seeing a little bit of relief at the pump, but it's not the big relief folks are looking for. And the bad news on that is a lot of the market indicators lately seem to be showing that we've hit a line of resistance and are heading up from there. Crude oil hit $65.22 a barrel. We're looking at probably prices to increase and stabilize, maybe more around the $70 to $73 a barrel in quarter two of this year. So not a whole lot of relief coming, unfortunately, there. It doesn't appear, unless something drastically changes. The only really bearish news I can report today is that Donald Trump is meeting with President Putin and that they're talking about a peace deal. So there is a possibility that if that Ukraine-Russia war ends, that could reprieve some of the sanctions on Russian crude, which would increase supply. But, you know, China has had a stimulus package, and they're doing some things to try to jumpstart their economy. That's bullish for crude prices, and in addition to that, we have some geopolitical stuff going on. There's U.S. airstrikes happening against the Iran-backed Houthi rebels in Yemen, and that's heightened some concerns about some potential Middle East oil supply disruptions. So there's probably more bullish headlines in the news right now, and that's kind of what we're doing is we're just following these headlines with the gas and diesel prices and crude oil prices, of course. So, again, I think quarter two, we're sitting at just over $66, $67 a barrel. I think we're heading closer to 70 in quarter two and possibly as high as 73. There's a lot less downside at this point than there is upside. You know, I think it's going to trend higher, particularly with planting demand and that kind of thing. So just my opinion. Again, anything could change depending on what happens in the headlines, but this is what we're looking at today.
And with looking at those markets and watching those things, because we are really in a big wait and see, what about contracting? Do you think it'd be a good investment to do some of that contracting with the way the markets are looking right now?
I do. With the key line of resistance being around 65, and we're kind of on the lower end of that, and as I said, the downside is limited, I think it's a good time to maybe layer in a little bit of contract. I wouldn't go all in because I think there may still be some downside potential, particularly towards the fall. But, you know, it's the thing about contracting is what usually happens in the spring is when guys get out in the field and they start planting, we see a little bump in prices as the demand increases on diesel. So then there's some inventory draws, and it just always seems to coincide with planting that prices spike. So I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to layer in some of the needs for spring, particularly with us being on the lower end of that. You know, if we're at $65 for resistance and we're heading to 70, 73 is the forecast for quarter two, I think, you know, at $67, it's still a pretty good value today.
And who should we reach out if we decide we want to do some of that contracting?
You can call me at 715-218-3792. You can call Isaac if you're down in that Ixton region. Isaac's number is 715-660-6448. And if you're down in the Toma region or West Salem, La Crosse, you can call Russ Boards. And Russ's number is 780-8614.
And one final thought here with the weather today, that propane that's out there, is there still a lot available?
Supply is good, although over the winter, supply got really tight. So it's very important to choose a reputable supplier that has propane. I know there were several suppliers in our area, not us, but there were several suppliers that actually physically ran out of propane, and we're having to try to source it from far away places, and it wasn't good. You know, we were about a week away from it turning into a crisis, I think, up here in Wisconsin. And it shows just how fragile the supply lines can be in a cold, normal winter. So I think with that, you know, choosing a supplier carefully. Allied Co-op is well positioned there. We have over 1 million gallons of storage in the country, and, you know, we have one of the most robust supply networks out there. Contracts are going to be available here soon. We're coming into summer, so we've got, you know, budget pay, 12-month budget pay contracting, fixed price options, and we've got prepay options coming up here in June and July. So I think there'll be some good options for our customers. And you know, as far as propane goes, when we get into spring, people tend to forget about their heating needs, but this is a good time to look because it's usually your best prices, late spring and early summer.
From driving our cars to our tractors to heating our homes, Allied Cooperative has all the products needed. And that was Mike Kampstra, Certified Energy Relationship Manager out of Marshfield. And I'm Jill Welke.